Customers see the front of the system. Employees see behind it. That difference changes everything. Because most systems look stable from the outside. Shelves stay stocked. Deliveries arrive. Lights stay on. Services continue running. And customers begin assuming that stability is automatic. But employees know something most people never see. How fragile normal operations actually are. Now here's the pattern. Customers experience results. Employees experience processes. And processes reveal weaknesses. Delayed shipments. Inventory shortages. Staffing problems. System slowdowns. Last-minute substitutions. These things happen constantly behind the scenes. Most customers just never notice them because employees absorb the disruption before it becomes visible. Now here's the key insight. Modern systems depend on continuous correction, not perfection. Employees are often the people holding unstable systems together quietly in the background. Now here's why this matters. The public usually notices problems only after they become large, but employees notice them early because they see what's running low, what keeps breaking, what fails repeatedly, what departments are under pressure. That creates a completely different understanding of stability. Now here's the deeper issue. Customers think availability means security. Employees know availability often depends on timing, luck, and constant adjustment. And once adjustment slows down, problems become visible fast. Now consider this. A grocery shelf looks full, but employees may already know the next shipment is delayed. A store looks organized, but workers may already know staffing levels are stretched too thin. The surface looks stable. The structure underneath may not be. Now here's another layer. Employees also understand behavior patterns. They know which items disappear first, how fast panic spreads, which shortages create chain reactions, because they've watched it happen before. Now here's a shift. The average customer prepares emotionally. Employees prepare observationally. They trust patterns more than appearances, because repeated exposure teaches them where systems are weakest. Now understand this. The people closest to operations often lose blind trust first, not because they are negative, because they see how much effort it takes to keep normal life looking normal. And once you understand that, you start seeing systems differently too. Employees know shelves are often emptier than they look. Customers usually judge a store by appearance. If shelves look mostly full, everything feels normal, stable. But employees know something important. A shelf can look stocked while inventory behind it is already running low. Now here's why that matters. Retail systems are designed to create the appearance of consistency. Products are face forward. Gaps are covered. Limited inventory is spread out to look fuller. From the customer perspective, it still feels abundant, but employees see the real numbers. And those numbers often tell a different story. Now here's the key detail. Modern stores rely heavily on constant replenishment, not large hidden reserves. That means many shelves stay full only because deliveries continue arriving on schedule. Now here's the deeper insight. Most customers imagine large backrooms filled with extra stock, but in many cases, backroom inventory is limited too, especially for fast-moving essentials. Employees know this because they handle restocking, inventory counts, shipment delays, missing deliveries. So they understand how thin the margin really is. Now consider this. A product may look fully available today, but employees may already know. The next shipment is delayed. Warehouse supply is low. Demand suddenly increased. That means the visible stability is temporary. Now here's another layer. Certain products disappear faster than expected during uncertainty. Employees watch patterns repeat. Water, batteries, toilet paper, canned food, cleaning supplies. And they know panic buying moves faster than supply chains can adjust. Now here's why this changes employee behavior. They stop assuming availability equals security because they've seen how quickly normal shelves become empty ones. Now here's the pattern. Customers trust appearance. Employees trust flow. They pay attention to how fast items move in and out, not just what's visible in the moment. Now here's the takeaway. What looks stable from the shopping aisle may already be under pressure behind the scenes. And employees understand that modern inventory systems depend on continuous movement, not deep reserves, which means stability often looks stronger than it really is. Employees know small disruptions create bigger chain reactions. Customers usually notice problems only when they become obvious. A missing product, a delayed service, long lines. But employees often recognize a real issue much earlier. Small disruptions rarely stay small. Now here's why that matters. Modern systems are interconnected. One delay affects another. One shortage creates pressure somewhere else. And employees see these chain reactions happen in real time. Now here's the key detail. Most operations run on tight timing. Deliveries arrive on schedules. Staff rotations follow systems. Inventory moves continuously. There is very little extra space inside the process. So when one part slows down, pressure spreads quickly. Now here's what employees notice first. Late shipments, staffing shortages, system outages, supplier substitutions, transportation delays. Customers may never hear about these issues directly, but employees deal with them immediately. Now here's the deeper insight. A system does not need to fully fail to become unstable. It only needs enough friction to slow down recovery. And once recovery slows, problems begin stacking on top of each other. Now consider this. A delayed truck shipment doesn't just affect one shelf. It affects restocking schedules, substitute products, customer demand patterns, staff workload. One small issue spreads outward. Now multiply that across multiple stores or services at once, and stability weakens fast. Now here's another layer. Employees learn which systems are fragile through repetition. They notice which departments struggle first, which suppliers fail most often, which products disappear quickest. That creates a very different perspective from the average customer. Now here's why employees often react earlier during uncertainty. Because they understand momentum. Once systems fall behind, catching up becomes difficult, especially when public demand suddenly increases. Now here's the pattern. Customers think in isolated problems. Employees think in connected systems. And connected systems behave differently under pressure. Now here's the takeaway. Most major disruptions begin quietly, not with collapse, but with delays, shortages, and increasing friction. Employees recognize those warning signs early because they operate inside the process itself. And once you understand how quickly small problems spread through modern systems, you stop assuming stability is guaranteed. Employees know panic spreads faster than shortages. Most customers think shortages create panic, but employees often see the opposite happen first. Panic creates shortages. Now here's why that matters. Modern systems are designed around predictable behavior. Stores expect normal buying patterns. A certain amount sold each day, a certain amount restocked, and under normal conditions, that system works efficiently. But panic breaks the pattern. Now here's what employees notice immediately. The moment people believe something may run out, demand changes instantly, not gradually. Suddenly, now a product that normally lasts several days disappears within hours. Not because supply completely failed, but because behavior changed faster than the system could react. Now here's the key detail. Fear multiplies consumption. People buy more than they need because uncertainty changes decision-making. And once other customers see shelves thinning out, the behavior accelerates. Now here's the deeper insight. Scarcity is psychological as much as physical. The sight of limited inventory creates urgency even before a real shortage exists. Employees watch this happen repeatedly. One customer buys extra. Others notice. More people begin stockpiling. Shelves empty rapidly. The system becomes overwhelmed by reaction speed. Now consider this. A store may still have supply coming. Trucks may still be arriving. But if public demand spikes faster than replenishment, the shelves still go empty. Now here's another layer. Employees often recognize the beginning of panic before customers do, because they see unusual behavior patterns early. Sudden bulk purchases, questions repeating constantly, specific items disappearing unusually fast. Those patterns signal changing public psychology. Now here's why employees rarely trust everything is fine messaging completely, because they've seen how quickly perception changes behavior, and behavior changes systems faster than official announcements can. Now here's the pattern. Systems are not only vulnerable to physical disruption, they are vulnerable to emotional reaction, and emotional reaction spreads extremely fast. Now here's the takeaway. Employees understand that stability depends heavily on public behavior remaining predictable. Once predictability disappears, pressure builds rapidly, and that's why experienced workers often prepare earlier than everyone else. Not because they know disaster is coming, but because they know how fast normal systems can become overloaded once fear enters the process. Employees don't see a different world than customers. They see a different layer of the same world. Customers experience outcomes. Employees experience maintenance. And maintenance changes your understanding of stability completely. Now here's the biggest realization employees learn. Most systems are not strong because they are unbreakable. They are strong because people constantly keep them functioning, quietly, every day. Now think about what employees actually witness. Delayed shipments corrected at the last minute. Inventory problems hidden before customers notice. Staffing shortages covered by overwork. Technical failures patched temporarily. Supply gaps managed through substitutions. Customers rarely see these adjustments. They only see the final result. So stability appears effortless. But employees know it isn't. Now here's the key insight. Modern life depends heavily on continuous coordination. And coordination is fragile. Not weak, but highly dependent on timing, behavior, transportation, communication, and labor all functioning together consistently. Now here's why employees lose blind trust earlier than most people. Because they repeatedly see how small problems spread. A delayed truck affects inventory. Inventory affects customer behavior. Customer behavior affects staffing pressure. Staffing pressure affects recovery speed. Everything connects. Now here's the deeper issue. Customers often assume systems have huge buffers, massive backups, large reserves, plenty of extra capacity. Employees often know the truth. Many systems operate efficiently precisely because they minimize excess. That efficiency works well under normal conditions, but under sudden pressure, thin margins become visible quickly. Now here's another major lesson employees learn. Perception controls behavior. The moment people feel instability, behavior changes faster than systems can adapt. And once behavior changes, shortages spread rapidly, even if the original problem was small. That's why experienced employees pay attention to patterns instead of appearances. They watch flow rates, customer behavior, delivery timing, repeated failures, sudden demand shifts, because those patterns reveal stress before the public sees it clearly. Now here's the final understanding. Employees don't necessarily become pessimistic. They become realistic about dependency. They understand how much modern comfort depends on continuous movement, continuous labor, continuous correction. And once you understand that, you stop assuming stability is automatic. Now here's the takeaway. The people closest to systems often understand fragility first, not because they want collapse, but because they see how much work goes into preventing it every single day. And that perspective changes how you prepare. You stop preparing emotionally. You start preparing practically, because you realize something important. Normal life continues smoothly not because systems are perfect, but because countless people are constantly holding the system together behind the scenes.